Welcome to Investor XP. This is the news show that covers investing for gamers. Our message? We want gamers to become investors and secure their future. We believe that gamers like yourselves have strong, intelligent communities that allow the cultivation of ideas, and that gives you a distinct edge in the stock market. This show, we discuss investment ideas focused around gaming, entertainment, and technology. I'm not a professional analyst, but I am retired under the age of 40 because of investing, and I want to help you build a better financial future. You can track my stock picks from the show on our website, investorxp.com. You can also see exactly what I'm investing in at kidbrokers.com. I'm building my kids' college fund with the very stocks we discuss on this show. Tabletop gaming and how to potentially invest in tabletop gaming. There's a lot of articles. I'm going to pull up one that's fairly old, but there's a lot of articles on how tabletop gaming has kind of survived technology, and it's still going pretty strong. So this is over at The Guardian, a long article about tabletop gaming and how it still makes money. You know, people are still buying tabletop games, and there's a small movement of where people are getting together and playing these games. You can see it at places like Books A Million or your local comic stores. They're starting to dedicate space where it's like a little cafe almost, where people can play games. And one of the big drivers for this, or people that are driving it pretty successfully, is the show Critical Role. They stream, I think it's Thursday nights. They stream over on Twitch, and it's Dungeons and Dragons that they play. They use voice actors and people, and they play a round of D&D. You can go to geekandsundry.com, and they have a ton of episodes. They've been doing it for a while. But Thursday over on Twitch, it is packed with thousands and thousands of people watching that. My green screen sucks today. I might have to break down and actually get lighting. I see that's not working out too well today, but so have to excuse me for the green screen. I didn't think I'd have to get lighting for it. I hate doing lighting for video, but I'm going to have to break down and do it. But ignore the shitty green screen. Anyhow, Critical Role. Twitch Thursday nights, they have tons and tons of people watching. So I started thinking about tabletop gaming as an investment in who I would look at. And I came up with Hasbro as who to look at for that. And I'll show you why. Let me bring up Hasbro's investor presentation so you can look at some of the IPs that they have. So Hasbro, here's their investor presentation. You can get it online to look at it. I wanted to show you their brands that they have in their portfolio. Looking through this, here we go. So they've got a ton of big name brands that they're either partnering with or they're their own brands. Classic brands like Monopoly, where you can get a lot of versions of Monopoly. There's like Zelda Monopoly, Mario Monopoly, just about any kind of Monopoly. I think there's a Rick and Morty Monopoly, if I'm not mistaken. Lots of versions of Monopoly out there. Monopoly is a classic game. If you want to kill a couple hours of your life playing Monopoly, there's plenty of ways to do it. Magic the Gathering is still going strong, and I gotta say, it's been out for almost 2 decades now. I mean, that is kind of remarkable, the strength that they have with Magic. Let me highlight some of their brands here. My cheesy highlighter tool. Um, Monopoly, obviously. Magic, big one. Um, I have two young girls, so My Little Pony is like one of the biggest things ever. A classic Play-Doh, classic brand. Uh, all of the big Disney brands. Trolls, that was actually a decent movie. I sat through Trolls, that was decent. So you can see there's Dungeons and Dragons, Life, all the classic ones. They have all of those brands. So we like the brands that Hasbro has. Um, so I decided let's look into their stock a little bit more stat wise. Uh, and they're not. They actually got some pretty good stats, a pretty good stat sheet. Hasbro does. I was a little surprised. I can't remember the last time I looked at Hasbro. It seems like it's been years. Um, for whatever reason, at the time, I stayed away from them. Um, but looking at their sheet now, here's their chart. Um, from the beginning of time, they've been pretty steady going up. Their performance over the last year, they've had a big bump recently. Have to look at the news articles to see what bumped them up. So, pretty good track record there. They pay a dividend, about 2% yield, which is way better than a bank is going to give you. Um, so, we like that. That's kind of one of our rules. Investing is they got to pay a dividend. Um, their forward earnings a little pricey compared to the S&P, and you gotta look at that compared to their industry when you start looking at that. So I'm talking in general terms here. And later this week, I'm going to release a couple of videos. Got a lot of emails lately about people wanting to get started in investing, so I'll put out a couple of videos kind of dedicated to the lingo and getting started with it. But let's look at some of their other stats real quick. Not a particularly overpriced stock. Um, 50-day and 200-day moving average 97 and 86. If they're above that, that's usually a sign of momentum. So they're riding some decent momentum. Usually you want to see that stay bumping up there. That's a quick way you can look at the momentum of a stock. Looking at other things quickly here, how much cash they have versus their debt, book value per share. I mean, nothing red flag wise, and not a lot to write home about. I'd have to look at what their dividends are paying, how steady they've been on that. I would imagine that they're a pretty steady payer. So, with their brands and what they're paying out, I like how Hasbro looks as a potential investment to get into the tabletop gaming. So we'll mark that down on my portfolio that we track on kind of my daily calls. We can check it out. Anything that we actually buy ends up on the ticker below and in our kids' college fund portfolio. If I have an article or a show where I say, hey, I like a stock or don't like a stock, or say, hey, I'd buy that or not, I put a note in this portfolio here where the calls are at, so you have an idea of what calls I make, whether it's a speculative buy, and those have been garbage. I've speculated on AMD, Square, Pepsi, and Barnes and Noble, and so far since I've said, hey, these might not be bad, like I just did with Hasbro, uh, they've done nothing. So we like to keep track of this so you can see um, exactly how my picks are doing, so you can uh, make the call yourself. And if my picks are doing terrible, just pick the opposite of what I'm saying, and you'll probably make money. So, um, Hasbro, we like Hasbro. Nice, nice list of IPs they have, and decent statistics. That green screen is really bothering me today. I don't know what I did to it to make it so terrible, but thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching the recap. For those of you who are watching the recaps, subscribe to our channel so that you get the latest in investing news for gamers. You can chat with us live during the show, providing that the stream stays up. We've had some issues with it today. Each day we're live 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central Time. We can pull up the chat during the show, chat with us, let us know what you think about some of the investment ideas. Send us a tweet at InvestorXP, or shoot us an email. It's mail@investorxp.com. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.